My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and the grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Jesus, we always have lots to talk about. Day after day, you open up new horizons for me, whether it be through the reading in the Mass or through my spiritual reading. I often feel like Ali Baba, saying that magical phrase, "Open sesame," in order to enter a new world. It is hard to imagine what life would be like without that daily dose of spiritual reading, whether it be scripture or a book of spirituality. Spiritual reading has really made many saints, as Saint Teresa of Avila insisted. It is our way to access a treasure trove of centuries of wisdom. Without it, we would remain mired in a tiny vision of life. In ancient Greece, a certain philosophy teacher was nicknamed the door opener, because he opened doors to worlds and possibilities that his students did not even know existed. That is exactly what happens every time we open a spiritual reading book. Well, today, Jesus, I need to talk with you about something I just came across in my spiritual reading. The book in question is a recent work on marriage by Edward Sri, S-R-I, entitled The Good, the Messy, and the Beautiful. I have a hunch that his insights can help many families in a profound way. Our story begins with the powerful insight from Vatican II. We are most fully human when we make of ourselves a sincere gift. Professor Sri recounts the following. One of my students was a young, devout Catholic woman whose wedding was a few months away. She was already familiar with the beautiful Christian ideals of self-giving love and loving your spouse like Christ loves his church. She wholeheartedly aspired to live this biblical vision for her married life. But I will never forget the moment when her jaw dropped and she suddenly felt the true weight of what she was about to enter into with her fiancé. We were reading a quote from St. John Paul II in his 1960 masterpiece, Love and Responsibility. That single sentence completely rocked her world. Here's what the young future Pope wrote. The fullest, the most uncompromising form of love consists precisely in self-giving, in making one's inalienable and non-transferable I someone else's property. It was this radical idea of surrendering one's freedom that startled the young woman. Now, many of you listening to this meditation are not married. Hopefully, there are many students joining us in this time of prayer. But these considerations apply to you too, as you will soon discover. The all-important question is, what does self-giving actually mean? Here is how the future John Paul II builds his case, and be patient. In the first place, as human persons, we have free will, the power of self-determination. This is what is most uniquely our own. Each person has a certain autonomy and is his or her own master. Secondly, the beauty of this gift of human freedom is that we can give it away. In other words, we can freely choose to give up that which is most intimately ours, our autonomy, and use it to serve something bigger than ourselves. Thirdly, love can impel us to give up our freedom and commit our will to serve someone else. We can freely choose not to use our life for our own purposes, but to commit our entire life to seeking the good of our beloved. Finally, this total surrender, this profound limitation of one's freedom, is at the very heart of married life. In marriage, we freely choose to give up our freedom to do whatever we want in life, and we commit ourselves to our beloved, to what is best for them and for our spousal union. And thus the conclusion: the fullest, the most uncompromising form of love consists precisely in self-giving, in making one's inalienable and non-transferable I, myself, someone else's property. These insights were written 65 years ago. The reason they can sound foreign is that our modern world trains us not in self-giving love, but in what could be called self-getting love. What do I get out of the relationship? What does the other person do for me? A wise woman recently had a jarring experience. She writes, I have spoken to a few undergraduate women at a well-known Catholic university. They are generally well-formed on marriage, dating, and purity. But I have been taken aback when virtually all of them say that the most important quality they seek in a future husband is, quote, someone who will support me emotionally in whatever I want. Given our individualistic culture, it is not surprising that many people think that a vocation is about something that serves me, my happiness, my fulfillment, my well-being. I will never forget an interview with what you could call a power couple. The photos showed them standing in the middle of their living room, high up in a luxury condo. The woman was asked about plans for having a child. Her response was chilling. Quote, no children. I cannot imagine making a luncheon date and then having to cancel it because my child had fallen ill. You may be thinking, yeah, but none of this applies to me. I'm living at home with my parents and siblings, and marriage is light years away. Not so fast. For starters, during these final weeks of the Jubilee year, focus on being gift. Put down the phone. Get off the video games. Walk over to your mother or father and inquire about their day. In the next breath, ask what needs to be done. At the dinner table, be proactive in showing interest in the others, which naturally means leaving your phone in another room, removing your earphones. Little by little, you will learn that these baby steps of forgetting about yourself and focusing on those around you will give you great joy. Mary, guide us in our quest to grow in the law of self-giving. After all, you made of yourself the ultimate gift at the moment of the Annunciation. When you turned your life completely over to God's plans, with those words, "Be it done to me according to thy word." I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations that you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help in putting them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.